Well, hello everybody and welcome back to the channel. It's very late afternoon and it's been a horrible wet windy day, and thought we'd just come out for we've probably got about an hour before it gets dark and chuck a ledger in and see what happens. We're down on one of our favourite spots on the River Vire, and I think we just had a little knock. Hard to tell in this wind. Anyway, we've just got a little size 18 hook on, a couple of maggots, and we'll see what happens. Let's have a look, see if it was a fish. In fact, it is a fish. Well, this is a fish. What a cracking start. And it is. We have a little something or other. What is it, Monty? We have a tiny little roach. He's a hungry little fella, wasn't he? Come back. Well, almost didn't bring the camera with us, but you get a little roach like that first cast, there's a bit of colour in the water with all the rain that we've had the last couple of days, and the water level's up a little bit, so who knows, it might be an inspired decision. Once we chuck this out, just to be on the safe side, we'll actually screw the landing net together. Right, boy. Go number 2. Might have another fish boy. Fish or a feeder that hasn't emptied. What is it? Oh, maybe it's a fish. What we got again? Another plump roach. Well, what a cracking start this is. 2 casts, 2 fish. Oh, another bite. Got another fish boy. It's a little bit bigger, this one. I think it might be just about big enough for the net. You think? Down here somewhere. Where is he? That's a very, very nice roach. Well, Let's have a look at this one. My word. What a lovely fish that is. Right, well, let's quickly show you that beautiful roach before he escapes. Lovely fish. I don't know, 4 or 5 ounces maybe, perhaps even half a pound. I'm not very good at weights, but what a lovely fish that was. Put him back, and away he goes. Well, might not look it on the camera, but the old light's starting to go. Which is a shame, because we've had 3 casts, 3 roach, and that last one was obviously the biggest. What a lovely fish it was. So hopefully we can have a few more casts before it gets too dark, and it'll be time for dinner for both Monty and me. Well, I've turned the camera around so that you can see over in this direction here there's a row of trees, and I'm casting probably maybe 10 foot short of the trees and the bank the other side, just into the flow a bit. The flow is more along that far bank, and my idea is to keep the rod tip nice and high, and hoping that that'll keep some of the line off the water. You might see the bites better. It's worked so far. This is the 5th cast I've had in, and I had 3 fish and 1 missed bite, so let's see if the 5th one brings us a fish as well. What do you think, Monty the dog? I thought I had a bite, and I did. Not quite what we were expecting. I'm going to stake that and hold that up. That's got to be the smallest fish that could possibly register on this feeder rod, but it definitely gave a bite. I just saw it twitching, and this little fellow was on there. Oversure how he managed to get the bait into his mouth, but there you go. Little tiny fish, Monty. Put him back. So, 4 fish from 5 casts. Although, should we call that one a fry? It's fish fry really, wasn't it? It was so small. Now then, hopefully you'll be able to see that standing cast hitting the water. Let's hope so. Got a fish straight away there. Yeah, I think we've hooked him. Definitely hooked a fish. Maybe another roach, not as big as that nice one we had, I don't think. Another fish, boy. There he is. And here we are, another little roach. Give him back. Well, regular viewers of the channel will have seen me fish this swim before, and there's a little hut behind us that's sort of half fallen down. Got a white duck there, and I'm sure I've seen that duck here before. One very, very similar. He's got his home here, and we're fishing about in the middle of the screen, as you can see there, quite close to the bank. About, I suppose, 10 foot short of the trees. And the river flows in from this end, and alongside us is what would have been a little canal section, but it's only goes 50 yards and it peters out into nothing. But there's quite often fish in the summer you can see out there. Anyway, this is where we've been fishing this afternoon. We've had more fish than I was expecting, I have to say. The old light's starting to go. Anyway, we'll keep going for a little bit longer. Monty's watching the rod, of course. It's one of the first casts we haven't had a bite. Well, I've been messing about taking a bit of film, so I may have missed the tip moving. Anyway, we'll put the camera down, and in fact we're just getting a bite now. What are we up to, boy? Right, and a fish. Not exactly got the camera in a very good spot. We up one? Oh, I don't know, we missed that. Well, we missed that because we weren't filming, but there you go. The action's been, well, the action here has been much better than we could have even anticipated. Every single time we cast in, we get a bite, and it's just whether or not we can hook them. And I think we've hooked this one. Yeah, there's definitely a fish on. There is a little bank or something along here, because a couple of times we've hooked fish, got them 3/4 of the way in, and the fish has managed to get off, but this one feels like it's well hooked. He says hopefully. We're going to have to use the net on him. Nice, fairly small one. There he comes. It's another roach. Look at that. Not big fish. Well, this one isn't. In fact, he's come off there. He was only just hooked. But, you know, this is... Back. This is the first week in November, and you know, you're lucky to get out at all fishing with this sort of weather. You never know quite what you're going to get, so we've taken advantage of the best time of the day weather-wise, and we've caught a few fish. In fact, that one didn't even have a chance to empty the feeder. Definitely going to have to put 2 good pairs of glasses on. It may look like it's quite bright, but that's the wonders of television, as they say, because I can tell you it's getting dark enough that I can't actually see the end of the hook very well unless I put on a second pair of glasses. And there's a bit of a lesson. This had been in the water a couple of minutes and the none of the bait had actually come out. So probably need to not have it quite so wet as it is. It's not compact it so much. Anyway, here we go again. You're not having it. The dog's getting hungry because he's trying to eat the ground bait. Right then, here we go. Oh, we've got the big white duck coming up the swim. I suppose it's a duck or a goose actually. We saw him here last time, so if you want to see him, look back on our previous video of coming here, and he's doing exactly the same as he did then. He came up to opposite us and then disappeared into the trees to swim past. Perhaps he thinks we can't see him, but we can. Been really windy today and the wind's now dropped, and it's quite a still evening, actually really nice evening. And do you know what, I just wouldn't be surprised if as it gets dark we pick up a big perch or maybe a chub. The old chub love maggots. A number of times I've caught them down here, and if you get £1 maybe, it might have the 2 maggots in its mouth that were on the hook, but it coughs up 3 or 4 more, so you know that they've been having a good go. The duck's gone past, he's come out from behind the trees now. We can see him through the leaves, mind, but he's going on upstream. Oh, that's a rarity. We've had a bite, cast, and no bite. You'd like to guess that either the rig's tangled or the bait has come off. And we'll give it another minute or so and find out. Well, that's a bite. A very, very gentle one. That's a good job the wind's dropped, because I wouldn't have seen this bite. Here's a fish. Here's a fish on. Oh, it's gone. It's hit that bank again. I think I might have lost it. I think we might have lost him, boy. Yeah. No, we have got him. There we go. Oh, it's a small one, that's why. Another roach, that's why the bite was so difficult to see. Ooh. fish. Well, what we can tell you is now that the wind has dropped, and the light is going, I can't believe how many fish there are, particularly small fry, up on the surface. There is fish topping everywhere, and when you consider we've had one little tiny one, and on this bank nearest me there is an area down to my right which there must be a shoal of little fish. I wouldn't be surprised in a minute you see them all jump out of the water and a perch is having a go at them. But it goes to show this part of the river is in a good healthy condition by the look of it. And we're getting another bite, boy. We cast a little bit further away from the trees this time, not by accident really, we meant to get a little bit closer. That's definitely a fish. And this feels a better one actually. Mind you, we said that before. No, this one is actually having a bit of a pullback. Definitely bigger than the last one. Just got to be careful with this little bank. We've lost quite a few fish on now. Here he comes. Oh, it felt bigger. Maybe it's because it was in the flow. I think we'll slide the net under this one, shall we? Oh well, no, we didn't need to really. Do you know what? This felt about 3 times the size. We didn't really need to put them in the landing net, did we, boy? There he is. Just another lovely little roach. Well, that's all we've got time for. It's practically night time, and it's time to go home. We'll go home and get some dinner. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe, because Monty likes to know that people are watching him. And join us again next time when we're out fishing in Normandy. Cheerio from a very dark river Vire.